Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and today I have a reading vlog for you. This is going to be a reading vlog for the trick or readathon. I struggle to say that. I'll leave all the details for this readathon linked in the description. It's being hosted by quite a few different people, and I'll also leave my TBR for that readathon linked below so that I don't have to go into individual books and what prompts the cover, because I only have 4 books in my TBR, but it covers all 8 prompts, just because 4 books is about the number I can manage to read in a month. So I set my expectations pretty achievable. It is Friday the 9th of October and I'm very nearly finished reading Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. I have about 50 pages left to go before I finish this book, so that's what I'm going to be working on this morning, and I'll check back in with you once I'm finished. I've just finished Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. I only had the last 50 or 60 pages left to go, and I really enjoyed this. This was a reread for me. This is the only reread in my TBR for August. Where am I? My October. Oh goodness, if that doesn't sum up 2020. Oh dear. I really love this series by Deborah Harkness. I really enjoy stories about witches and vampires and magic and supernatural, and I think Deborah Harkness does a really good job of creating such a rich world. The second book is set in the 16th century England and a bit of 16th century France, and it's such a vivid world and I greatly enjoy it. I've reread this because season 2 of the Discovery of Witches TV series is out early next year, and it focuses on this second book, and this is the book I remember the least about, or because it's got time travel in it, it's a bit more confusing. So it was really good to reread this, and I had a great time, and I read it really quickly because it's quite a long book, but I greatly enjoyed rereading this. What I think I'm going to pick up next is, if I can do it one-handed, The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry. This is going to be my next read. I'm really excited to get to this. I don't know too much about it. Just reading the back doesn't really say a lot. There's obviously ghosts in it. There's been some murders, and there's some young kids who've been playing in the forest and they find something they shouldn't have. I really enjoy Christina Henry's writing, and I love her retellings, so I'm excited to read something from her that isn't a retelling and it's more original. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna pick up next. Actually, before I move on and start my next book, I think I'm going to update my bullet journal. I've got my pen and my ruler, and I'm just going to update for what I read last night. So I read 90 pages of Shadow of Night last night, and then I read this morning. I'm not going to properly fill out what I read for today, so for this morning in my journal, because I'm going to continue reading today, so I'm just properly going to fill out last night's reading. Sorry you can't watch what I'm doing, but I've only got a really tiny little tripod for my phone, and I can't angle it to my page because my phone is too heavy. So I filled in that bit so far. As you see, I haven't filled in for today's date, the 9th, just because I'm going to continue reading, but I have written Shadow of Night and that I give it 5 stars. I'm also going to add a book to my bookshelf. I don't think I've showed this on camera before, but this is my 2020 bookshelf. So, just hit myself in the face. Great. This is every book I read so far in 2020, and the colours are the colours that are most depicted on the cover of the book. I've just done the best I can with the colour of pencils I have. So I'm going to add a bookshelf, add a book here, perspective, and label it Shadow of Night, and I'll get my red pencils out later and colour it in red. Let me know, do any of you guys keep journals or bullet journals, or have a physical way of tracking your reading other than like just Goodreads, whether it be by hand or on the computer to use like a spreadsheet or something. I'm always interested to hear how people keep track of all their reading and what they're doing. I'm always just interested in hearing and seeing if there's a different way that would work, perhaps better for me. I don't know, I just like the physicality of the bullet journal. Like, I like physically taking notes and things, so that's why I like it. And then just now, before I properly get down to start reading The Ghost Tree, I'm going to take an Instagram photo of Shadow of Night and update my Instagram. I'm not very good at keeping that up to date. More so found on YouTube and Twitter. I suppose I'm quite bad at keeping up to date with Instagram. I've been on it for a couple of years now, and I don't even have 100 followers on Instagram, so I just like doing it. So I'm going to update that, quickly update Goodreads, and then sit and read The Ghost Tree and enjoy my cup of tea. It's about 10 to 3 and I just want to do a quick check-in of my reading. I have read 110 pages of The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry, and it's finally gotten to that point in the story where you're past the introduction and you've just had the first inklings of something going wrong. So this is horror, but it's also like a bit of a mystery as well. Some girls have been found dead in the woods, and it's just intrigue in that. I've just had the first inklings of supernatural things going on, and little hints of what this horror thing is going to end up being, and it's actually really been really good so far. I was a bit I didn't realise it was set in 1985, I think, until I read the very first page when it's chapter 1 and it says the year 1985. So it's been quite fun reading from that time period, and I've enjoyed everything so far. The main character, Lauren, has quite a fun attitude, and she's just still very much, I think she's like 14 and a half or something, and she still very much wants to be in the woods on her bicycle and playing, and she's not quite ready to grow up yet. So I really like her character, and I'm really, really intrigued to see where this story goes. So I've read about 110 pages of that so far, along with finishing Shadow of Night this morning. And I also listened to an audiobook. It's called Lyra's Oxford by Philip Pullman, which is a novella. I think it's technically 3.5, so it's set after the His Dark Materials trilogy, and it obviously came out quite a few years ago before the prequels were even done, I think. So it was 80 pages long, so I've listened to that as well today while I was doing housework and pottering around. That was a good bit of fun. I really wanted to read that because if you watched my last videos, I read the second book of Dust, The Secret Commonwealth, and it was quite a disappointment to me. So I read Lyra's Oxford just to have another little smattering of that world and to enjoy it. And it was quite funny. I didn't realise Malcolm Polstead makes an appearance in that novella, and he's obviously a central character in both La Belle Sauvage and in The Secret Commonwealth. And it was interesting to see him as an adult while Lyra is a child, because in the La Belle Sauvage, Lyra's a baby and Malcolm is a child, and then in The Secret Commonwealth they're both adults but with quite an age gap. So it was interesting seeing that dynamic and realising that that's where he was in the story as well. So yeah, I'm probably going to watch some booktube videos for the next little while and get some other bits and pieces done around my flat, and I'll check in with you later. Hello, it's the next day because I suck at vlogging. I didn't get too much more read last night. Time just got away from me, but I did start The Girl from the Other Side, and I read the first 2 chapters of this, because this was one of the prompts this fills, is reading a book only at night / in the dark. So I started this last night and I got about halfway through. This is my first manga, so it was a little bit challenging at first because you read it back to front, because obviously that's how you read Japanese style. So it took a wee minute to get used to reading it in such an alien fashion to me because I'm not used to reading that way. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a very interesting concept, interesting world. There's an inside world and an outside world, which is the good demons, not the good demons, demons on the outside, and then the good god on the inside. And it's following a little girl, and the art style is lovely. So I've read half of this. I don't really know how many pages that would be. I'll need to count it. I haven't yet read any of The Ghost Tree, but I'm going to sit and do that just now, this morning, because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got my cup of tea. I'm just going to sit and read for a little while. So it's a wee bit later. I've read another 100 pages of The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry, and I'm on page like 209, and I'm finally getting some answers. So obviously you start off the story when you find there's two girls found murdered near the woods, and investigation ensues. I've now got to the point where you kind of feel like you've got an inkling of what's going on. You've had some more background information, but there's still very much a big mystery going on. I've had more insight into what the supernatural element is of the story. I won't say because obviously that would be a spoiler, but I'm really enjoying it. I just love Christina Henry's writing. I just find her a really accessible writer. I enjoy the way she weaves the story together. It's not too complicated, but her writing is just very lovely to read, and I just find her a really quick read as well. That's another 100 pages gone in quite a short time as well. So I am really enjoying this book. But in true fashion, I'm going to have to end this video here. I have had some things come up for the rest of the day, and I'd like to close out the video properly rather than just abruptly finishing it. So to wrap up this vlog, I finished the last little portion of Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness, which filled 2 prompts in the trick or readathon. I can't say that. I've also read 200 pages of The Ghost Tree, which fills another 2 prompts, and I also have started and read half of The Girl from the Other Side, which filled another 2 prompts. So I've only got 1 book on my TBR for October that I haven't started yet, but I'm going to start that after I finish The Ghost Tree. So I'm well on track to finishing my 4 books on my TBR for the trick or readathon. I find that really difficult to say, which is great because I was worried that I wouldn't be able to finish them. So I'm looking forward to my reading this month, because it's still quite near the start of the month, and I'm sure I'll get more books read that aren't on the readathon. So I'm quite excited for that. But yeah, so I hope you liked this wee vlog. It's kind of a bit disjointed, but this is the kind of videos I love watching, so I want to kind of get better at filming little vlogs like this, because I love watching these kind of videos from other people. So you always make the content that you like watching, or try to anyway. So yeah, so let me know in the comments below what you're currently reading, and if you're taking part in this readathon, I'd love to have a chat with you. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I post videos every week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!